Right, like I said, if you don't want to be recorded, I'm just going to say it again. Go ahead and have your microphone and microphone and camera turned off, and you can use the chat feature to submit any questions that you have. And Nike, will you keep a track on that? Because it's hard when I've got the share screen set up.
Sure thing.
All right. So thank you for joining us. This is the Meet the Camp Directors for the 2021 summer camp season with the Girl Scouts of West Central Florida. So I'm just going to get us rolling on my fancy. Like I said, if you have any questions, please go ahead and type them into the chat. We're going to introduce ourselves first and talk a little bit about each of our camps. And then we're going to roll into open session for questions and answers and any discussion that you may have that you want to have with us. This is recorded so we can share it with those who aren't able to be here with us to hopefully make sure that all these questions that you guys are so good and creative on thinking up, we can have answers for everyone. So we're going to start with Nike.
Hi, so my camp name is Nike. For any of those that are new to Girl Scout Camp or new to our council, all of our staff members go by camp names, including our counselors in training. Just a little history on that. It just puts for a nice laid back environment at camp to where the kids can address us by our nicknames instead of having to put a Miss or Mr. in front of any of that. My real name is Linda Archer. That's the name that you'll see on most of the communications if you are signed up for Camp Boylani. Tell you a little bit about myself. You can obviously see the slide here. I am a native of Arkansas. I moved here to Florida in 2019, and I had the great experience of enjoying Florida right when the COVID lockdown started. My camp history, I've been a camp director for over 10 years. It was I was at a different council before moving down here. I'm super excited to be at Camp Boylani this summer. I did attend camp as a child and went through the counselor and training program and worked at camp through my college years, and then came back to be a camp director after working what I call the real world for about 5 years. And of course, like most camp directors, I love the outdoors, and water sports are really my forte. I love kayaking, canoeing, swimming, and anything to do with the water. So that's a little bit about me. RC, did you want me to go ahead and talk about Camp Boylani?
Yes, please.
Okay, so Camp Boylani is our camp is located in Palm Harbor. It is about 20 miles east of Tampa, and we are known for our water sports. We also have a challenge tower that girls entering 5th grade in the summer and up can participate in. But we have canoeing, kayaking, paddleboarding for our cadet, senior, and ambassador. We also have a swimming pool and your typical summer camp activities, archery, a few hikes, arts and crafts, STEM, and we also have a kiln to where we do fire some pottery from time to time. As with both of our camps, we serve girls entering kindergarten through, entering 1st grade through 12th grade in various half week or week-long sessions. And Camp Boylani is also the home to the STEM day camp this year for our council, and we also have regular day camp at Camp Boylani. And let me know if I missed anything, RC.
I think you got it. All right, so then that leaves it to me. My camp name is RC. My name on the non-camp season is Kara, and I work with the Girl Scouts full-time, just like Nike/Linda does. I grew up in a Girl Scout family. My mom was a Girl Scout troop leader for over 25 years as she raised 4 daughters through the program, most making it all the way through and doing some high awards in the process. This is my 5th year as a camp director and my 6th on staff with Girl Scouts of West Central Florida. The year before I started being the camp director, I was our camp ranger here at Camp Wildwood. Fun fact about me, when I went to university, I majored in insects or entomology, and then I moved forward with a master's in forest resources and conservation. Just before coming to the Girl Scouts, I worked with the National Park Service for the Chattahoochee River National Recreation Area in rewriting their junior ranger program. I really love exploring nature, if you can't already guess from the things that I've talked about that I like and do. And my camp base growing up was Camp Pine Valley up in Georgia, which was a Girl Scout camp, which sadly has been sold as far as I can tell. And I also attended Camp Boylani and Camp Dorothy Thomas when I moved to Florida as a child. So I am the camp director at Camp Wildwood. It is our, if you didn't know already, our largest camp as well as our equestrian camp. We are the only camp the only Girl Scout camp in the state of Florida that maintains a year-round herd of horses. We currently have 30. 2 of them are miniature. A few are semi-retired or fully retired. And we have all kinds of breeds and colors and ages and mares and geldings here at camp. We sit on 589 acres, which does seem like a lot of land, but only about a third of it is built up to be our campsites, campground, and program areas. We have about a third in horse fields and a third in old growth forests with winding fun trails. We both walk and ride the trails here at Camp Wildwood, depending on which trail it is. This summer, our programs are focused around equestrian program. So the majority of our girls who come to our camp do go to riding programs. We have beginner, intermediate, and advanced camps. And then we are also having our counselor and training program at Wildwood. I do believe that my intro is a little bit shorter because mine is We Are Horse Camp. So I have not seen any chats come through, which I don't know why I can't see the chat. There it is. All right. So we are going to move on to our next slide, which is our tips and tricks for summer camp. I'll start with mine. A lot of people like to pack aerosol sunscreens for their girls, especially if they're younger. It is a little bit easier to apply for both girls and staff. I find it easier as well because you can get to those spots that you can't necessarily reach. But do be aware that it runs out faster than traditional cream sunscreen. So if you're going to pack an aerosol, you may want to pack either a brand new full aerosol or 2 or more, as we have the girls reapply every hour or so when we're out in the sun. When we do get through the importing of all of our registrations into the Camp Doc system, which is our medical paperwork system, you'll see as you go through that and you update it, keep it as honest and up to date. If you have a check-in with your doctor or your girl's doctor 2 to 3 weeks before camp and something new comes up, make sure to let us know about that at check-in or update the paperwork before you come. So I'm kind of skipping ahead and now back to the other one. In the process, you will see that there is a section where you can okay over-the-counter medications. Any of the ones listed there, we actually keep a store here at camp, so there's no need for you to pack those for your camper. So things like Advil, Pepto-Bismol, things that are very basic over-the-counter medications we do keep here. So no need to bring all of those extra ones on top of any of the more specialized medications. And then my biggest thing that I say to everyone that I've ever met who asks me, what's the #1 thing that you need to know about camp, is happy feet are dry feet and dry feet are happy feet. It rains a lot here at camp. And if you pack only exactly the pairs of socks that you need, you are going to have not enough socks because you always need more socks than you think. I always tell parents, pack the socks that you think she needs and then pack another week's worth of socks on top of that you think she would need for the next week of camp. Another really good tip that I have is if your girls' shoes are not waterproof or not quick drying, do pack a second pair for them, because if they do get their socks wet, there's a good chance their shoes are going to be wet. And that just translates into wet socks again the next day. Nike, take it away with your tips.
All right, so you see that RC and I share the idea about socks. Happy feet are dry feet. I also have come to learn that my feet are very happy when they're as free of sand as possible. So being at Camp Boylani, I find myself actually changing socks when my feet are feeling a little bit sandy. It's a great idea to go ahead and pack those socks and underwear. Just pack extra. It's great to have them. The girls will be able to go back during turtle time, or, you know, if everybody's feet are wet, there'll be times where they'll be able to go back and change those, or they can throw an extra pair in their day pack. Another tip for me is that we suggest that all campers, it's on the packing list to bring day packs. These can be old school backpacks, anything really, but it's a great idea to make sure they have wide straps instead of the string bags, because the girls may be loading these down with their swimsuits and towels, water shoes and other things. And it's a lot easier. It's a lot more comfortable to have those wide straps on your back than it is to have the string bags. And parents, we know everybody loves to get mail. Campers become very busy at camp and they are super excited, super involved in all of their activities. They don't have a lot of downtime. So it doesn't guarantee you'll receive mail from your camper, but it's a great step to make sure that you send pre-addressed stamped and pre-addressed and stamped envelopes with your camper and let her know. And if you don't take the time or you want your camper to do those herself, make sure she knows how to write her address. And this goes for all ages of our campers we're finding these days, that even our oldest may not know exactly how to address an envelope. It is a skill that most of us are going to have, that you will want to teach your camper if you don't have time to do the pre-addressed envelopes, or if they're wanting to send them to other family members, make sure they have those addresses and they know how to put them on there. And then we are changing to Waldo Photos this year. That is a way that you can also do emails to your campers. They're called Waldograms. You can also request your camper to send a Waldogram back, and those are uploaded and sent to you. And my last one, Boylani is known for everybody loving to wear their Crocs. However, Crocs don't meet the Girl Scout safety standard. So Crocs are for cabins or pool decks only. So if you love your Crocs and people tell you that traditionally Boylani, everybody wears Crocs, unfortunately this year, I would say unfortunately, but this year the Crocs are only going to be on pool decks and in the cabins. We do ask that you wear closed-toed shoes that also have a closed heel to protect the girls' feet, and they're welcome to bring their Crocs, but they will be restricted to cabins and pool decks. And I think that's all I have.
All right. So this is my little blurb on horse camp. So if your girl is coming to horse camp, there are still, last I checked, like 5 whole spots left in horse camp. We have the helmets, boots, and any equipment that you or your girl would need to ride. So there's no need to worry about, do I need to send her with this safety gear? I don't have riding boots. Do I need to go purchase them? We stock borrow boots in various sizes, styles, colors, make, models. And then we just replaced all of our helmets with nice, sleek, black IRH helmets. So equestrian helmets are different than bicycling helmets. They carry a different standard and are just constructed differently. So no need to pack a bike helmet or anything like that. We do sanitize them between the girls, of course. We have in the past, and we definitely do it now. Girls are required to wear pants that go from the waist to the ankle for riding. These do not have to be jeans. If they are jeans, we ask that you keep the bedazzling at home. Those can get very irritating on yourself and can scratch up the saddle. But we actually do suggest they're very comfortable. Cotton leggings are acceptable to wear when riding. And if anybody is really interested in getting into horseback riding, you can also look at getting, they have specialty, essentially leggings, just slightly thicker with little grip pads on them. I always suggest packing at least 2 pairs, because while we are only riding for a portion of the day, it can get hot even though we're only riding in the morning. So in case they get kind of sweaty, we can switch them out, wear pair 1 on day 1, pair 2 on day 2, pair 1 on day 3, and kind of let them air dry in between. So as I alluded to, if your camper has come to camp in the past, they'll notice a big difference on how we schedule time in the barn. So instead of having one group do all of their program in the morning and one group do all of their programming in the afternoon at the barn, we're now splitting it up so both groups come both times of the day. They don't come at the same time as each other, but they split to do their riding in the morning when it is the coolest and least likely to get rained out by thunderstorms. and we do what we call ground lesson, which are the non-riding learning portions of the program in the afternoon. This is to help keep people and horses from getting too hot and too tired throughout the week. And then when we're doing ground lessons, we can always do them in the shade, which in Florida is a big bonus. Close to your time to check into camp, probably 2 or 3 weeks ahead of your arrival date for your camper, you'll receive an email with director information as well as a pre-camp survey for Camp Wildwood. The pre-camp survey is specifically for our horse riders, and it's to gauge their comfort level, experience. We also, if you have the ability to measure the circumference of their head, that way we can pre-fit helmets, things of that nature. Have they ridden with us before? Who did they ride? We ask questions like that so we can pre-assign horses based on your girl's skill and comfort level, and then pre-assign them into their riding groups. So it's very important to fill out those surveys. So if you don't fill it out the first time, there will be a couple of reminders. All right. Don't forget, you guys can send in questions using the chat. The dates, good question. The only camp session that I do have spots left for in horse camp is the week of June 27th through July 3rd, which is a Happy Trails program. And that program is for juniors and cadets. Right now, all of the other horse programs have, they either have wait lists started or totally full wait lists at this point. Okay.
And Kara, since you went ahead and mentioned that, we will open up for questions here in a second, but our camps have been pretty popular this year, and because of COVID, we have had to reduce capacity. And I say that to let y'all know that we do only, we at Camp Boylani right now, we only have 4 spaces available for our Lifeguarding 101 session. All of our others are either full and waitlist full, or still have waitlist spots, which you can check the website at gswcf.org/summer camp. And if you can click on the link of the summer camp, a waitlist is still open, or there are still spots available.
All right. So that opens us up to answers time, which means we're opening up for questions. So if you give me just a second, I will set it so that you can unmute yourself and raise your hand. Or you can type questions into the box. So allow participants to unmute themselves. All right. Does anyone have any questions for us about summer camp?
If we don't have any questions, I have questions for our participants.
I'm fine with that. A lot of questions that we do get are, what will my girl eat at camp? Things of that nature. So if you guys have any questions like that. Heather, you have a question.
Yes, I'm a part of Girl Scouts of Southeast Florida. So I signed my daughter up. I didn't receive any emails for like the pre-camp survey or how to upload her health forms. Do I just go onto your website to do that, or will emails be coming shortly? Or
So that is a great question. Everything, we are on a little later schedule this year because of some of the overwhelming response to our registration program. Kara, you can let us know if the horse questionnaire has gone out yet, but I do know the medical forms, Camp Doc invite, those haven't been sent yet. They should be sent within the next month. And did you receive a confirmation that your girl was enrolled in that session?
yes, I have it when I sign into like my girl, the GSSEF, it tells me about the balance due. So I know that she's registered. She's in both camps. She's doing a week at Wildwood and a week at Camp Leon. I'm not going to pronounce
Boylani.
Thank you, Wildwood. My second question was I signed her up on the 17th, and I haven't seen any of the early bird discounts applied to her balance yet. Will that come when I pay the full balance, or?
So that's also a great question. For that one, because again, our system was a little bit overloaded. We had went with my GS, switched to something called 2.0. Let me start over. If you didn't see the discount on that total, which the way we set it up is that when you logged in during those dates, you would have seen the price being cheaper than what our brochure showed. However, if that is not true to what your balance is, go ahead and email our customer care team, which is customerconnections@gswcf.org, and we can look at that for you to get that adjusted. The other thing, just letting everybody know, you brought up, you registered on February 17th. If you haven't already received an email, we are making a switch in some things. Your spot is fine, but you're going to end up getting a cancellation email. You can ignore that email because we are putting it in a new build, a new session, same dates, same session you signed up for. And once we do that, you'll get a confirmation. So don't be alarmed if anybody gets a cancellation email. We're working on sending you an email to tell you to ignore the cancellation email, but don't be alarmed if you get one of those. Yeah, go ahead.
I have one last question and then I'm done. Also for our council, they offered a discount for Camp Wildwood if you sold so many cookies for the horseback riding program. Is that something that I email customer service about? Because she reached that goal to go to horseback riding camp. And I didn't know if it said that they have like a date. It was like one of their rewards was to go to Camp Wildwood.
Right. So the way that they set that up with us is they had originally envisioned it as a day program where you could add on overnight, because everyone ran the assumption that COVID would be like 3 weeks long and we'd be done. Because, the future is always the best thing to predict. But the answers to what that exactly is going to entail, because they are trying to shift it around a little bit, is going to come directly from your council.
Okay.
I don't have any notice of what that is until they finalize what they want it to be. And then I will know once you know, basically. Okay. Now, Linda, I don't know if you see any in the chat, but I see questions in the chat. So I'm going to read them. Okay. They're going to me then. Cool. Good thing I figured out how to open the chat. Okay. Do you have a cell phone policy? Yes, we do. We do not allow electronics at camp that have communication abilities. So this includes smartwatches, laptops, tablets that have any kind of satellite or cell phone service. We do allow Fitbits, step trackers, things of that nature. Regular watches, digital cameras, but we do not allow cell phones at our camps. Camp is a great place to disconnect from the technology bubble that we live in right now and really be in the moment and enjoy the experience. So we want girls to be able to connect with each other in a face-to-face manner rather than still be in that technology bubble that they're in from day to day. Okay, next question. What foods are typically on the menu? This will vary from camp to camp and cook to cook, meal to meal, week to week, but most of our foods that are on the menu are very typical of what types of meals you would see in the school system, but kind of geared for being in the outdoors. So you won't see as many hot lunches as you would see in the school system, just because we're outside during a lot of the heat of the day. And we want to make sure that we're not jumbling up tummies just before we go out to do something fun. My favorite is that we have salad available at lunch and dinner. So I like to have that. Sorry. And then there's always an option for those who are slightly picky eaters. So we have typically some kind of secondary option preset for lunch and dinner. But at our meals, we don't have girls take everything and then make them eat everything. It is a select by choice and see if they want to try something, if it's something new type thing. Linda, do you have anything to add to that? Linda is muted.
I did want to go back to the cell phone question real quick. While Kara covered our no cell phone policy, I do want to let y'all know that our camp staff members will be using deactivated iPhones, which means they don't have any capacity to message or anything like that. They'll be using them for photos and for camp approved playlists this year. So it may be that your camper does see a counselor with a cell phone, but we have around 20 to 30 deactivated iPhones that we want to get pictures of your campers to upload on Waldo Photos, and we are going to be utilizing those. And also at Camp Wildwood, occasionally staff have to use cell phones to communicate with each other. Otherwise, campers, our staff emulate the policy that we set for our campers, and they will not be using their personal cell phones in front of campers either. Just wanted to cover that in case the cell phone, your camper does say, you know, Nike had a cell phone all summer. It may have been one of our iPhones.
Okay, Allison S., you have your hand up.
My question is similar to the previous question that somebody asked about the rewards. My daughter's in West Central Florida. Is Camp Bucks being treated the same way from cookie sales?
Yes. So Camp Bucks this year, if you have a balance from last year, it is valid to use on this year. If for some reason you have an excess this year that you can't use this year, it will be good next year. There is not an expiration date. But when you log on and you select payment, you should be able to select that you want to pay with some Camp Bucks, and it'll tell you the steps. Part of this is taking a picture and sending it to us. But yeah, all those steps. Yes, we do accept Camp Bucks.
Okay. Another question. When I signed up and some of the moms from the troop signed up, we didn't put down bunk buddies because we didn't know which camp our girls were going to be in. And now that we've kind of figured out what dates our girls are going to, can we request that they be in a cabin with their the girls from their troop?
So that is a great question. Because of our COVID protocols this year, we are operating on a pod system. These pods are small groups of girls who will stay in the cabin together. And this year, our pods are restricted to the session theme. So for example, if your camper at Camp Boylani signed up for Make a Splash, she'll be in a cabin with all the other participants from Make a Splash. If she signed up for Make a Splash and her friend signed up for Summer Camp Sampler, they will be in separate cabins because we will be separating those pods. It is a little different this year than it has been in past years. But
okay,
signed up for this. I'm sorry, go ahead.
My daughter and another girl are both signed up for the 3-day, half week camp.
Yes.
For the same time period. So does that the same?
Yes, they will be in the same cabin. So
okay.
Yes, and if you want to assure that, you can always send an email to, there's only a few exceptions to where we have 2 cabins with the same session names, but I know with those half weeks, I can tell you that they will be in the same cabin because all of the girls signed up for that will be in one cabin.
Okay. What is the email address?
It's customer and RC, correct me if I'm saying it wrong, it's customer connections at gswcf.org.
That's it. And I'm typing it into the, I'm typing it into the chat now.
Okay, thank you.
We had a question that came up and to me, it says, how do I sign up for Waldo Photos? You will receive that information in one of the emails that will be coming to you within the next month. It will give you all of those details. We do want to let everybody know that Waldo Photos has a camper identification program. We will more than likely not be able to use that this year due to masks. So I say that, so if you pay for having pictures of your particular camper sent to your phone, Waldo Photos cannot guarantee that their facial recognition will recognize campers with masks on. So all of the photos for all of our camps will be free to view on the website. However, the app is a paid app to get your camper sent to your phone. This year, it may not be efficient. So long story short, Waldo Photo information will come with all of the parent camp information, including check-in times.
And then I wanted to backtrack a little bit on the cabins. So cabins pods are a little bit different at Wildwood just because the cabins are inconsistently sized at our camp. So our pod session is a unit will be a session. So for Camp Wildwood, it is important to make sure that you have those bunk buddy requests in, even if they are in the same session. So if your girls are all going to equine science will be across 3 cabins. So please do make sure to send in any last minute bunk buddy requests, remembering that they do only get 1 bunk buddy request honored as long as they're in the same session. So I still have a few more in the chat. So this one is a horse camp one, so I will take this one. What other activities will be at Intro to Horse Camp that I can look forward to? So Intro to Horse Camp is our half week of horse camp, the very last week of summer. And it is really nice because it is available to our youngest girls, so our rising 1st grade and up. It is a beginner program in essence. So girls will learn the basics of steering, horse care, safety around horses. We'll probably play some games, learn the parts of a horse, etc. Outside of our time at the barn, depending on our ages, we'll participate in archery. Archery, you do have to be a rising 3rd grader to participate in. We have pool time every day because it's the summer in Florida, so you kind of got to do it, or else it is far too hot. And then we have various other activities that groups will go through, such as STEM programming, arts and crafts, nature exploration, and various other things. So those are the different kinds of activities you can look forward to outside of your time at the barn. Next question, Nike. I will ask Nike this one. Do you have a suggested packing list for first-time summer campers?
That is a great question. I know we're telling you that a lot of information will come to you. We know that you're super eager to get this information. We will provide you with a packing list that has items on it. We do try to keep that packing list to the necessary items without a whole bunch of fluff, because we want your girls to be prepared for camp, but we also don't want you to have to worry about purchasing items that may not be used at camp. The packing list should be live on our website soon. We are finalizing those, and it will be in the parent email that you will receive, like I said, within the next month once we start sending those out. So great question. Yes, everybody will get a packing list.
All right. That kind of comes to the end of the questions that I see in the chat. Does anyone else have any questions they want to send into the chat or unmute and ask at this point in time? Put you guys all on the spot. So I'm just going to move us to the next slide so you guys have plenty of time to write it down should you need it. This is our contact information. Should you come up with a question after sitting, we sign this off and 3 minutes later you go, oh, I thought of the best question to ask. Feel free. These are our cell phone numbers, our direct lines through Girl Scouts, and these are our emails. We typically work a non-traditional week because we do programming on the weekends. So if you don't hear from us, if in the middle of the week, it may be that we work over the weekend. And so we're taking our weekend on like a Tuesday, Wednesday instead. So do be patient with us. We work a bit of a different schedule than most staff at the Girl Scouts. Nike, do you have any last minute questions that you think a lot of people ask? Yes, they're both cell phones, so do feel free to text them.
Yes, and I just wanted to add that in there. Sometimes if you think of a question late at night, you can throw it in a text, or even during the day if you're busy, feel free to do that. I don't think I can think of a lot of others. I do want to let y'all know we do have an open house and family day coming up in June for both of our camps. This is a day to where you can experience a few of the sample activities and meet our summer camp staff, including myself and RC at our individual camps. The event will be put on the website for registration soon. And registration is limited, but it's a great time to come out, meet our camp staff, meet us, and also try a little bit of camp activities out for yourself.
All All right, so I haven't seen any other questions come in to the chat. We're going to stay on for probably the next 3 to 5 minutes or until everybody logs off. So I want to thank you guys for joining us today. If you want to stay on and ask more in-depth questions that you just want to wait until everyone else is gone, feel free. But otherwise, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we can't wait to see you all at camp.
I have one more question.
Perfect.
My daughter's going to Camp Boylani, and she's going on the 3-day camp. So can you give me an idea of the different activities that they'll participate in, just so I can give her an idea? Because she's asked me and I don't really know.
Can you let me know what grade she is entering this summer?
She's going into 4th next year.
Okay, all right. So she's going to be one in our rising camps. And the reason I asked that, so she'll do your typical camp activities, including swimming, canoeing and or kayaking, archery, arts and crafts. So our 3-day sessions are really set up to be a sampler and a great idea. If you go to our brochure, and RC, I don't know if you're able to pull it up quicker than me, there is a page that tells you on our online brochure what they can participate in. I do want to say that there is an error. Our girls at that age in 4th and 5th grade are not able to do paddle boarding at Camp Boylani, but every other activity that they can do is listed in our camp guide. And it pretty much covers all the activities we have here at camp, but she'll be doing a little bit of everything. And I'm curious, what is she most interested in trying?
Probably canoeing, and she likes arts and crafts.
Okay, so she'll definitely get to do both of those. This year, because of our COVID restrictions, again, we set their schedule and we want to make sure that they get the full camp experience with those typical camp activities. And the 3-day session is going to be packed full of all of the things that she wants to do. And she'll definitely be doing canoeing and arts and crafts.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And Allison, if you are still there, I'm going to our website to see if I can tell you which page that is on the brochure real quick. If you log off before then, the brochure is at gswcf.summercamp, but I am there now. So give me 1 second. I should have already had that pulled up because it's a great question. All right, so if you go to gswcf.org/summercamp and scroll down, there is a digital brochure. And page 5. It has all the activities, and you'll look at the 4 girls entering. So with her going into 4th grade, everything that is checked marked, and if it's checked marked for 3rd or 2nd, she's also able to participate in those. Like I said, just ignore paddleboarding. That is an error. She is still too young for that one, but all the other activities, those are correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, I haven't seen any other questions come in through the chat, but we're going to hang on until, never mind. We're going to hang on until right now. Thank you for joining us. If you are watching this as a recorded person, or a person watching this recording, this is a good English at the right end of this. This is our contact information on the screen. Do feel free to send us any questions that you have since you weren't able to ask them live. We will get back to you as soon as we can, but like we said a little bit earlier, keep a little faith in us. We have a little bit of an irregular schedule for working weekends, so sometimes it could be a couple of days before you hear from us. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight, and that was our very first virtual Meet the Camp Directors.